8 ways to start your talk. I want to let you know that as a speaker, as a minister, whoever you are in whatever you're doing, in as much as one of your job is to go up there to the stage and talk to people, minister to people, communicate with people, how you start is very, very paramount. And in most cases, your first 7 minutes on the stage is the highest attention you will ever have. It means that anything you are saying after 7 minutes, if you are not very careful, people will not get it again. So it means that you have your benchmark of 7 minutes to touch the lives of people, to impact the lives of people, to do something on the stage as a speaker, as a minister that can actually be of great value to the people listening to you. And so that is significantly determined by how you start your talk. So we're going to be discovering here some 8 amazing ways on how you can actually begin your talk. And they say the end of the thing is always very important than the start. But in professional speaking or in public speaking, the start of it is always very important, just like the end of it. So here we respect so much how you start, and we also respect so much how you end. Right? So how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you do that? So that takes me to my second slide. Takes me to my second slide. Okay. Okay, some people cannot see my screen. Okay, let me stop sharing and then share back.
Power off.
Great. So I hope everybody can see my screen now. Great. 8 ways on how to start your talk. Start with a compelling story or a personal anecdote. Right? Start your talk with a compelling story or a personal anecdote. That's so powerful, guys. That's so powerful. So quickly, as you're writing down, we'll be doing our session across practicals. You know, everybody's gonna speak. So start your story with your talk with a compelling story or a personal anecdote. Now, a personal anecdote is a humorous story about yourself that make people to laugh. Okay, so when I was conceived, my parents wanted me to be a girl. I am from a family of 7 siblings. Unfortunately, the first one departed last year, and there was the first boy, second was a girl, the third was a boy. And so my mom was praying and trusting God for another girl. So she wanted to have at least balance. So when I was conceived by faith, my mom went to the market, did shopping, and the things she bought for the baby Oliver that was to come were all female stuff. You wouldn't believe that, man. All the beautiful gowns, skates, all of that. So when I was delivered, I was a boy. And when I started growing up, you know, as a young little boy, around 1 year, 2 years, most of the time, I was putting on skates and gowns because my mother did not want to just keep those things she bought. So she just started putting on the stuff on me. So when I will be with my friends, boys who are actually putting on trousers and whatever, I'll be putting on gowns and skate. So growing up, so out of 25 years, 30 years, 31, 32, 33, all of that, I have always been speaking like a girl, you know. I've always had that girl's voice. Even right now, if you don't listen to me, see my face now. If I'm talking, you're hearing and you're not seeing, you would definitely be thinking it's a woman talking. And mom is very happy. My mom is very excited that I speak like a girl, man. She's like, part of her vision is achieved, and it's fulfilled, and she's happy. So guys, that is a perfect example of a personal anecdote. So when I started my speaking career, most of the time when I'm speaking somewhere, especially for the first time, I always bring in this particular anecdote. I believe everybody has an anecdote. So right now, you can actually tell a compelling story or an anecdote. So we're going to practice the aspect of the anecdote, and then we'll get to the compelling story part of it. So quickly, the first person to share his or her personal his personal anecdote is going to be Felix. Felix, you have not more than 1 minute to share your personal anecdote with us. It's a public speaking class. Okay, over to you, Felix. If Felix is not there, is Blessed there?
Sorry, my network is bad. I went off. I did not even get what was said.
All right, I said the first step to do in sharing story is to start with a compelling story or a personal anecdote. And I said a personal anecdote is a short, funny story about yourself that can make people to laugh as an entry strategy as you start, speaking to them. And so I'm like, I've shared my own personal anecdote. I have a couple of them. So I want everybody to unmute the mic and share, share his or her own, so that we can be able to give constructive feedback at the end of the course or session. So Felix, are you ready? If Felix is not ready, then Bless should be ready. Is Blaze there? Great. Right on, please. Okay. Blaze, is your sound is having an issue. Mom Christy, do you have something to share? Like Pastor John.
I grew up in a home where music is cherished so much
Okay.
because my dad believed one could communicate using song. So every time one had a message to pass across the house, even if it was good or bad, we used the song
Okay.
and enjoyed communicating amongst ourselves as children using music, using song. So if we knew that our dad was coming because he was a very strict person, we would start singing songs, informing others. So we enjoyed using songs to communicate. And that made us, we formed a powerful team in the house that to penetrate us wasn't easy. We knew how to communicate using music. To date, there are times I want to communicate even in my home now with my family. I still try to do that, and they enjoy it. My children too are picking that up. It's been wonderful using it to communicate.
Great story. Using music to communicate from how you grew up. Fantastic. Beautiful. So, is Pastor Jam there? Do you want to share? Yes?
I don't know whether I did something next to that or I still need to do more.
Absolutely. Mom Christy, you did well. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Great. Pastor Jam, then Felix. Okay, let's move. Let's go ahead. A compelling stories. Okay, so you just listen to this, right? In 1961, 10th of March, President John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States of America, had a great dream, a great vision. And his mission was as easy as his vision, which stipulates that in the next 10 years, America as a nation should send an individual to the moon to hoist the American flag and then return back to America saved. At the time when John F. Kennedy casted out this vision, many people around America and in the world, they criticized him and they were like, that was ridiculous, that was crazy. What's the essence of spending billions upon billions of dollars to send someone to the moon? What is this going to have on the economy? What effect? And behold, the nation gathered together and they started building teams. And one of the teams, the Bear, was a group of astronauts led by Neil Armstrong. And it was not up to 10 years, ladies and gentlemen, on the 12th of June, 1969, the American government sent a team to the moon that landed safely on the moon, hoisted the American flag, and returned back to the US safely. And immediately they landed, the news went viral around the world that America is the first nation on earth to hoist their flag on the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, this innovation, this breakthrough, this transformation, this audacious goal that was achieved by the nation of America made America to achieve three great things instantly. Immediately, America was rated as the world superpower. And that alone affected them positively because by 1963, 1961, 1962, and 1960, America was so involved in Cold Wars with nations like Germany, Australia, Spain, and United Kingdom. And the fact that the government of America could send a team to the moon rendered the rest of the Soviet nations, the rest of the people who were involved in the Cold War, powerless. And they began to be very scared of America. And they ceased gunfire. Any conflict they wanted to engage America into it, they relent their effort because of that audacious thing they did. The second thing that did was that American citizens became very proud of themselves. And even the great-grandchildren of America, they're still very proud. And that's exactly why anywhere you see an American, you're talking to American, they will always talk with a lot of confidence, even when they are broke, even when they are not educated, even when they are not knowledgeable. You will never sense that if you talk to an American, just because of the confidence instilled in them by John F. Kennedy. What is your dream? What is your goal? Maybe you are thinking small, like a hen, while you're supposed to be thinking like an eagle. I want to challenge you. Be like President John F. Kennedy, who ventured to send a team to the moon. Because until you send your own team to the moon, you may still remain the hen, while you are supposed to be the eagle. So that's what I mean by a compelling story. That's a perfect example of a compelling story. Now, when you are delivering a talk to people, one mistake I see people do a lot online is when they dive into a conference, a meeting, they're talking online, they will spend a lot of time greeting, saluting, saying things and acknowledging, which is okay. But professionally speaking, it is more advantageous for you to bring in a compelling story. After the compelling story, you tell the people that, okay, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 nuggets on how to transform your life from an average life to an outstanding life. All of that. And then you not say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so grateful for Microsoft for having me here to handle this workshop virtually. And I want to thank, Sandy, the CEO, for doing everything for us to be here. Once again, thanks everybody for showing up. You're just going. So when you have started with the story, it compels people to keep on listening to you. But when you start by greeting, salutation, and all of that, it's traditional, it's old school. But the new innovation, the current trend says that you begin with a story, with an anecdote, and then when you finish with that, introduce a topic and then greet. All right, that is a little bit of starting with the complaint story, and everybody here is going to tell a story. That was my story. Please, nobody should take away my story. You can use it, okay, but not now in this particular session. So who wanna share a story? Who got a story you wanna share with us here? Anybody? Anybody wanna share a story? Come on, we are in school to learn. So when you come to school, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Make as many mistakes as possible. Then you shall be corrected.
Okay, thank you. I have several stories. Some are sad ones, some are good ones. So let me share. I will judge the one, no problem. Okay, I actually grew up to where I am now. I didn't have a father. I've never had one. I grew up mainly with my mother and with a very poor background. But I told myself that my background was never going to put my back down.
Amen.
I was going to stand. In fact, I have a dream that I'm going to be the president of this my country.
Wow.
And even to today, I'm still having that dream. Maybe let me share this story that is a story that came through my a dream, one of my dreams. In this story, I usually share people love. I was pregnant with a child. And I was 9 months, until 9 months pregnant, I was there with the child. So when the time of delivery came, I went to the hospital in the labor room just as any other mother will go to the hospital to deliver. So while in the hospital, I was there at the labor room. And I sat there waiting for others. There were people in the labor room, other women delivering. So I waited for them. When they finished, it was now my turn. I entered the labor room also to deliver. While in the labor room, something happened. I discovered that the midwives who were supposed to help me put to bed, they were not there. So I started asking questions about where are they? Where could they have gone? While I was standing at the bed. And then something came to my mind that I am a man. You know, I said that maybe with the pain that I've seen people going through like this, maybe the best thing for me to do is that let me go back to the theater so that they will do a CS and then just remove the child. And I woke up from the dream. It's a kind of a story. Sometimes people usually laugh me about the story. So there are many of the stories, many stories. Maybe let me end here. Somebody might have another. Thank you.
Wow. That's a really funny story, bro. And that's a powerful story. Who are the Joseph? Do we have Joseph to interpret that dream? Okay, great.
That's a good one.
Okay, that's a nice story, bro. So, anybody with a story, compelling story?
While growing up, I knew that any student who did not go to SASE to study will never speak good English. As time went on, schools started sprouting up like mushroom, and I could hear English come from areas where I did not expect. Today, parents are crisscrossing. They don't even know which one now is the best school, which one is not. Children are excelling, doing wonderfully well, becoming what one never thought they could become. And I've been like, it doesn't matter where you go to school. What matters is the knowledge you acquire. I've told myself, I am going to be that lady, that woman who had my own sase where I grew up. And it will not end there. I see men doing it big all the time, being presidents, being, I cannot say what, astronauts, pilots. Granted, women are already there, but I still keep telling myself I'm going to do what no woman has ever done. And I will trail the globe to make women know that it is not only going to SASE that can make you become the greatest in the world. Wherever you are, make it your SASE. Because every time one spoke, don't speak that you are SASE here. We all know what to do. We all know where to do it and how to do it. And that is what I go around doing, telling people you can always make it wherever you find yourself. I've seen many making it. Why should I not be one whom people will look up to too and say, I will be like Christina? There is nothing that will stop me from being like Christina. That makes me know that where I am, I should keep moving, because nothing stops anyone who is determined. We are now sitting here listening to Oliver, looking at him. He's talking to us from some part of the world that I think many of us thought we would never get there. I myself, where you are, I am equally there with you. This is my own America. All of us in this phone now, we are in America with you. Whether we like it or not, all of us are already in America. We are already public speakers. And I think it's high time we tell ourselves that and move ahead.
Wow, 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 wow. That's wonderful, Mom. We can just close the class now and we have been motivated enough. Wow. That was great. Anybody want to share the story again, please? Anybody? Compelling story. Cyprian, welcome back, bro. Do you have a story you want to share? We are talking about 8 ways to start a talk, start a presentation, to start a speech. And number one, we're starting with a compelling story or a personal anecdote. We say a personal anecdote is a story that is funny, that is lovable, kind of humor that you share briefly to start the talk, and we finish with that. So we were at the other twist of it, which was the compelling story, which a couple of our students like Pastor Jude and Mama Christina, they just shared some amazing stories, and I was like, even if the class ends now, we have been motivated and inspired and taught enough. So do you have a story, Cyprian, that you want to share with us on how you can start your talk, be it on any topic, be it leadership, personal development, relationship, entrepreneurship, IT or technology, personal resilience, and personal whatever? Just go ahead, please.
I have a story. Let me start first, please.
Okay.
It's Blaze.
Oh, bless. I'm happy your mic is
Yeah,
good.
my mic is okay now, right?
10 over 10, bro.
Okay. I want to tell you people about my uncle and his friend. My uncle happened to have schooled in the days when school was such a dreadful thing, back in the 60s, 70s, and going to school back in those days, they went to school barefooted, and sometimes with torn clothes, torn uniforms, and even sometimes you go under the rain, you reach the school under the rain, they're still flogging you. I mean, the flogging at that time used to be like the merciless flogging of slaves. So school was such a dreadful thing amongst them. And along the line, my uncle was like, but what is the essence of suffering like this and coming to school all the time? You come late, they beat you, you drink, and all of those things. So he was like, oh, let me just stop this bullshit. And he decided to jump into hunting. And while his friends endured the process. So my uncle was very successful at hunting, that he got married pretty early and started a family. And he was mocking at his friends who were going to school because he was really doing well as a hunter. He would hunt, he was the talk of the town, he was a celebrity. All the women in the city, in the village wanted him because he was the one that was making things happening. You know, back in the days when meat or bushmeat was like the best hunter was the man of every lady's dream. My uncle was in that position for people who have sense, according to him. And he grew up having so many children, and they followed his footsteps. Then this my uncle's friend who furthered his education, all went through all the snake beatings and all the like. Later on, caught up with my uncle. That was later on, about how many years down the line. And immediately my uncle saw him, he was like, wow. He had known, I would have ourselves that everything that we want, we're going to resolve to pay the price before we look at the reward, so that we will not be like my uncle. Thank you so much.
Wow, 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 wow.
Good one there.
That's a great one there, bro. Great. Felix, Cyprian, you want to say something?
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Yep. We're getting you 5 on 5.
I wish to share a story about myself. My story began in the year 2015 when I graduated from the University of Buea in the southwest region of Cameroon. So when I graduated with the first degree in accounting, I left and I sorted for jobs to no avail. I remember depositing my applications in more than 50 organizations and the online platforms and other organizations that you could ever think of. But unfortunately, it wasn't successful. I quite remember I went to in 2017, in 2016, I went to a particular organization and deposited my application, and I met the secretary of that organization. And you'll be shocking to note that immediately I left that, immediately I deposited my application with that secretary. On turning back, I noticed the secretary took my application and trashed it into the trash can. So you could imagine the frustration. And so I equally remember in the year 2016, around the mid-year 2016, when I went to a particular organization to deposit my application. And it was so shocking that one of the board members, one of the big people in the organization, asked me to bring forth the sum of 5 million. Can you imagine? The sum of 5 million francs before I could be recruited. So at that time, I didn't have such amount of money to bribe away that organization. And while I was schooling in the University of Buea, I had to learn a handwork, a skill. While living with my aunt in Buea, she was so industrious. She used to make butter egg. She used to make Scotch egg. The Scotch egg is this flour that you bake and then you put forth the egg into it. So I'm sure most of you know Scotch egg. So at that time we had to rebrand it because many people at that time in Buea knew of Scotch egg. So we had to rebrand it to our own name such that it would become something new. We had to rebrand it and we named it butter egg, which is still Scotch egg. But as many people did not know about butter egg, they were like surprised that what is this butter egg that they have never heard of which it was the same thing as Scotch egg, but we had to change the brand name. So during that time, I learned that particular skill from my aunt. So while after I graduated, as I was earlier mentioning, I had to do this back at home with my parents. So every morning I will get up around 2 a.m. in the morning, and I will make this Scotch egg, and by 6 a.m. I'll go and sell to maybe these schools around town. And fortunately for me, there was this francophone. You know, francophones in Cameroon, they love flour too much. So we had this sporting school which is called St. Ajes. So so every morning around 6 a.m. I'll go there on Mondays and every other days, and I'll sell to them, and I'll make just a meager profit, guys, just a meager profit of just about 500 francs a day. But you can imagine the stress I'll go through. Then I remember in around May in 2000, that same 2016, a French company in Bamenda at that time, though it's no more existing, they called Inmada company. This company used to produce this liquid soap, this liquid omo, and other stuff. So I'll carry them in my bag along with other colleagues at that time. I would trek from here to Gwen, my 4, my 6, my 7 Gwen, with a a minimum order, minimum amount to sell. And if you don't sell that particular amount of quantity, that day, the balance will be deducted from your salary, guys. So it was not easy. So God being faithful, I remember the day I was supposed to be promoted, because I remember one day the boss of that company called me and told me that it's like this, Mr. Cyprian, I see you to be a very hardworking and resilient guy. So I would like you to become the store accountant of this company. But at that day, there was this aspect of conspiracy among them. So some of them conspire and said so many bad things about me. And the next day, the boss called me and told me that I will not more function as a store accountant. So I was sent back to the field. So God being faithful, one day my mom took me to one of our relatives who sells in a shop in the Pamenda main market. So he saw me and he said he has a company that he just opened, and because of my resilience and my consistency and my focus and my hardworking skill, he would love me to come and work in that company as an accountant. And I remember one day when I was trekking, selling my Scotch egg, my butter egg, I met two of my classmates who graduated the same year, and they were laughing at me, guys. They were laughing seriously that how can somebody so brilliant as you be selling Scotch egg? And that same day, they just returned from an interview, and they were putting on exquisite suits and ties, and they were laughing at me, hawking and selling Scotch egg. But I want to say consistency is a key. Being focused and steady and not backing up or not giving up is always a key to success. So as that my relative saw me with this resilience, he said, no, you love somebody like me to work. And to cut a long story short, presently I'm working there not only as an accountant but an internal auditor in a company made up of more than 10 branches spread along the main five regions of the Cameroon, and equally here in Bamenda. So I wish to say there is something we call resilience and the power of consistency. And guys, believe me, consistency pays, hard work pays, and being steady and focused, it pays. So that was just a synopsis of what I had to share about my little story. Thank you very much.
Okay. Wow. That's beautiful, bro. That's great. I love your story. Felix, are you there, please? You there, dear? Okay. So if Felix is not there, what is
I'm actually there also.
do you have a story to share, Felix?
So honestly, there is no story for now. My mind is not actually made up.
Okay. Great. Use powerful quotes or statistics. In fact, I'm so blown away by all the stories. You are amazing speakers, and just some quick. Anyhow, we'll look at the feedback later. Use powerful quotes or statistics. That's our second point. Use powerful quotes or statistics. This is so powerful. This is so powerful. So I have different quotes for different presentations. So when I'm speaking, when I'm doing a public speaking tour, at time I will start like in 2016, 20 million people globally were diagnosed with glossophobia. Now, glossophobia is the strong fear of standing in front of people and doing presentations, otherwise what we call public speaking. And in 2020, the statistics doubled to 40 million people globally diagnosed again with glossophobia. And the worst part of it is that out of all the 40 million people diagnosed with glossophobia, only 8 to 9% of them seek professional help from expert trainers, from expert speakers, and the rest thought that that was not a big problem. And those are the people that most of the time they mess up during presentations in workplaces And that is why most of us, our promotion would tarry because of the way we express ourselves in our work environments wherever we go. And those who can speak well, they will always be at the top of the age or at the top of the curve. What I'm saying is this: in a work environment where we have John. John is 10 on 10 on technical skills. He is exceptionally good when it comes to engineering, but he is 3 on 10 on his communication abilities, communication skills, communication prowess. If you compare John to Peter, Peter is actually 10 on 10 when it comes to communication skills, and when it comes to technical skill, he's only 3 over 10. However, Peter will highly be promoted, like 3 to 5 times over John, because in the present dispensation, promotion comes faster and quicker, not only because you are too knowledgeable about what you do, but based on how well you communicate your ideas, you communicate your philosophy, you communicate your thought, and let other people resonate with what you're saying. That is game changing. So you see, guys, that is really this can be a very powerful conversation, a powerful introduction when you are training speakers and they're meeting for the first time, giving the statistics and giving the analysis. Boom, like everybody, like, I want to learn this public speaking. It's important. So that is what we mean by quotes or statistics. So quickly, please, you have 5 seconds, everybody. So we're gonna start with Felix. You want to start? Blaise, we'll start with Blaise. Mangum Blaise. Just a brief statistic or a quote to start it off.
Okay. I would. I'll let. Okay. Let me start. Please permit me. A great man once said, "Ask not what your country has done for you. Ask yourself what you have done for your country." I want us to dwell. I want us to talk today about how much we are contributing to the overall growth of our economy, and bearing in mind this great quote from our great president John F. Kennedy, which says, "Ask not what your country will do for you. Ask yourself what you can do for your country." Thank you.
Beautiful. Great. Lovely. I love what you said. You know, when you're giving a quote and you don't know the owner of the quote, or the name skips your mind, you always say, yeah, a great man once said. You know, you could say someone anonymous once said. I love the fact that if you ended up bouncing back with the name of the person who gave the quote. All right, let's listen to Christina.
Proper planning prevents poor performance, the 5 P's. When you fail to plan, know you have planned to fail. So in whatever we try to do, we know that we need to take time to do it and do it well.
Great.
In early 80s, about 1%, I'll say 1% of people, of schoolmates I knew, could freely express themselves. Today, it's no longer the same, because the world is evolving at the speed that anyone who does not apply himself or herself to the trend of events will be found wanting. And I see these 5 P's being put in place by many. Like those of us in here now, we are going in for the 5 P's. Proper planning prevents poor performance. We are trying to plan properly to avoid performing poorly in the long run.
Great. I love that, man. I love that. Great. Pastor Jam, over to you, sir.
Okay. The statistics from 2016 revealed that 50% of people marrying could end up in divorce, while 40% of first marriages could end up in divorce. 60% of second marriages could end up in divorce, and 70% of third marriages could end up in divorce. Now, that same statistics reveal that marital preparations could reduce divorce rate by 30%. And studies also show that a couple is likely to have improved marital experience by 79%, better than those who have no form of premarital preparations. Back here, basically in Boya High Court, the statistics from 2022 shows that we had 226 divorce cases. In 2023, we had 336 divorce cases, while by the first quarter of 2014 and 24, we had 74 divorce cases. Now, these statistics speaks for themselves. They need no further explanation.
Wow. Bro, are you a marriage counselor? What? Okay. Felix. Felix, somebody broke your heart. You're behaving like Pastor Jam need to cancel you. Maybe one small girl has broken your heart. All right, Cyprian.
A great man called Mr. Nshom once said, if you are at the top, you will become a topic. And if you need a lion's share, you need a lion's heart. A great guy called Mr. Molo Joel once said, if you want to achieve success, you need to become a slave to your principles. A great man called Mr. Robert Kiyosaki, he said, about 90% of the world's wealth is being controlled just by 10% of the world's population, and about just 10% of the world population controls about 90% of the world's population controls just about 10% of the world's wealth. And lastly, in the year 1950 to the year 1956, that's when the term artificial intelligence, of which most of us know it to be termed AI, that's when AI became popular and came into use, and is now being used by almost 80% of the world's population.
Okay. All right. Great. I love that. Great. You see, you people are beginning to sound like professional speakers. That's why they have to pay you to speak, because you're giving information and everybody's like, wow, that's amazing. You're really good. And ladies and gentlemen, the good news for you is that this is what makes a great speaker. When you begin to start presentations using this format, that's what makes people to believe in your ability to speak and be paid. Because from every indication, it shows that you have done some research before coming. You've done some research, so powerful. And just a hint before it escaped my mind, when you're giving statistics, you don't need to give 5 statistics, like 4, 3, maybe you just need 1 statistic and then 1 quote, or 2 to 3 statistics and 1 quote. Don't bring in a lot of quotes, a lot of statistics. You can rather confuse the people. Now, Pastor Jam, Jude successfully convinced me, I don't know what about you, with a lot of statistics and all of that. He actually successfully did that because it was in chronology. He was talking about the same thing. Divorce. And he was taking it from different angles. He talked about the global perspective, the national perspective, the community perspective, which is the only option you can actually pass through, because if you're talking about statistics, you could start from the global perspective, the international perspective, the national perspective, the regional perspective. You see, people see the roadmap. But if you're not talking about the global, international, national, community, or regional, don't bring in a lot. If you must bring in a lot of statistics or quote, it should be in this lineup of different perspective, right? So please take note of that. Take note of that. So let's dive deeper. So the next thing that I want us to look at on how to start a talk is something that is very, very important and is so close to my own heart. And it's nothing but engaging the audience by asking thought-provoking questions. You got to engage your audience by asking them thought-provoking questions. Engage your audience by asking thought-provoking questions. A little bit like this. How many of you here know the name of your great father's great grandfather? If you do, put up a hand. You see? Is that a thought-provoking question? If it's yes, please unmute your mic and say yes. Yeah, yeah. You know. Let me shock you. I will never shock you anymore. Don't bother. I will not shock you. I'm not electricity. Let me surprise you with this statement. Do you know that one of the greatest things that make people to perceive a speaker being a good speaker, a great speaker, a smart speaker, an intelligent speaker, is not even just about the quotes, the statistics. It's not about your dressing. It's not about how well you articulate, all of that. What actually makes you a great speaker that people respect and they want to pay you to travel around the world and speak, sharing your story, is the kind of questions you ask your audience. That's so powerful. The kind of questions you ask them. Because questions are like a spark that can make people to start thinking immediately about something they were not planning to think about. That's the power of questions. So asking and engaging your audience with thought-provoking questions.
It's really terrible. I barely get what is happening.
Oh no, sorry about that. However, fortunately I'm recording the session. So questions are so powerful. So you need to ask intelligent questions, right? Guess who is the next? I know the next president of the Republic of Cameroon. Guess. So that's a thought-provoking question. But in a place like Cameroon, it's a very sensitive kind of question you should not ask. Maybe, just maybe. So you have to learn at the start of your talk. See, guys, now this is a game changer. This is a game changer. If you bring in a quote and statistics, follow the flow. If you bring in a quote and statistics, just as we've seen up there, and then the next thing, before you dive into your presentation, you bring in a thought-provoking question. Woo! Your audience will like, wow, where have this lady been? Where has this man been? We have been craving and yearning to have a speaker like you. Okay, now, let's go back to our sharing, right? Let me stop sharing my screen. Let's share. It's public speaking, again, so it's about you speaking and not me speaking. So, let's start with, who wanna start? You're sharing your thought-provoking question. Okay, who is starting? Yes, Blaze. Blaze, you want to start with your thought? Please don't go far. Start from your last story, from where the story you shared with us. You know, the quotes you gave us. For instance, throughout the session, Cyprian will only be talking about finances, money, managing money, saving money. Throughout the session, Pastor Jam, if he's there, he will only be talking about relationship. Then Mark Christie will talk about family, you know. Then Blaise will talk about personal development. Okay? Blaise, you want to start?
Okay. If I have to go back and start from where I since I have to only speak about what I've been talking about, then I would I would have to bring in. Permit me. I want to just clear this before I engage, please. So I just want to, since I was talking about ask not what your country can do for you, but ask yourself what you can do for your country. To link it to it, what I will ask maybe my audience in this context would be like, I can take them back to their background. So this is how I will take it. Like, it's going to be similar to the example you gave, but a little bit different. Like how many of us here can tell us what our grandparents did as source of livelihood? The essence of this is going to be to channel them that there is greatness in their lineage, or maybe they are not a product of poverty or extreme poverty, but maybe just ignorance. Because the moment they ask that question, they will see how the question is going to, like, somebody is going to figure out, and now we have to dwell on those backgrounds to prove to them that truly somehow our backgrounds might not be as poor as we think. It could just be ignorance because maybe our grandparents mismanaged their funds. Thank you.
Awesome. I love that. Okay. Yes, Mom Christina.
Yeah, I would like, since I enjoy the family setup, I just wish to find out who amongst us knows that renowned family in the world of comedy that has made people almost laugh out their lungs. You know, there are families that come up, even if they are not directly related by blood, they constitute a family that is into comedy and entertains people. Who can give me one such family that they've enjoyed their comedy in the world?
I love that. I love that. What do you want to capture from that question, please?
You know, people live so much in the. You find people hardly find where they can really relax, where they can have some entertainment. When they get too steeped into maybe intellectual work, business, and they find it so hard to relax, then some realize that no, there are times we need to take time off, sit and have some fun. And you find some families, some groups that set out just to make people relax. And when you have a relaxed mind, you can equally get to do more things that will be beneficial to you or to the world, to the community in which you live, to your own family.
Great. Great. Pastor Jam, welcome back, sir. Tell us, what provocative question can you ask your audience based from your line of thoughts?
Maybe provoking questions I might ask, maybe in the area of leadership. Sorry, you are getting some noise like that. I had to step out. I'm searching for network.
Okay.
The network is really disturbing. Yes, and we have a conference in church, so that is why I might be getting some noise on the background.
Okay.
Okay, in the area of leadership, I might try to find out from my audience, maybe addressing the issue of leadership, that why is it that during American elections, like what is going on now, the whole world is turning and looking to America. Everyone is watching closely, countries are watching closely to find out who becomes the next leader of America. Why is everyone looking in that direction? Thank you.
Great. Great. And lastly, Cyprian, go ahead with your thought-provoking question.
How many of us know that you don't search for money? Money was never meant to be sought. You don't search for money. If you search for money, you will never find money. So how many of us know that you don't search for money? Money
Great.
in itself is attracted to to the mindset of that particular person. So if you look for money, you will never find money.
Great. I love that, man. I love that. Great. 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 So, so think about this too. Imagine you starting a talk by saying something like, my great granddad was called Ngong. Nobody ever told me this. My dad did not tell me. Unfortunately for me, I was not able to see my dad's dad, my grandfather. Not to talk about my great grandfather. I did not even dream about this in the dream. My mom did not tell me this. My great grandma did not tell me. Can you imagine how I got the name of my great granddad? Asengo. Can you imagine that? So it's like you're causing people to think. They're like, what could I have done? What could I have done? Somebody probably told them all that. So this is so powerful. This is so powerful. That's what makes people to respect you as a speaker, because it sounds intelligent. That's intelligent conversations, and that's what is expected of you as a speaker. In the hall, you are not the most intelligent, but you have to behave like you're the most intelligent by the kind of questions you ask, the way you just support your point, the way you punch your points, and all of that. So we are making progress, which is a good thing. So the next thing I want us to look at, away from thought-provocative questions, is gonna be, where is my screen? The screen is missing. Let me get this one here. So away from thought-provocative question, the next thing we're going to be looking at is incorporate visual aids such as drawings. Incorporate visual aids. Incorporating visual aids. The question you'll be asking me that, how do you incorporate visual aids? How do you incorporate visual aid? Please, can you see my screen? I'm not sure.
No.
Okay. Let me see. Incorporating visual aids. Okay. Incorporating visual aid. So while we're talking, don't bother, it's coming. So what do you understand by incorporating visual aid? Like visual aid. As a speaker, what is the importance of incorporating visual aid? For instance, when we talk of visual aid, we mean things like pictures, graphs, that illustrate the point you are trying to portray. We're looking at pictures and graphs that illustrate the point you are trying to portray. So those are visual aids. So why do you think it is important for you to incorporate that as a speaker? Why is it necessary for pictures to be in your presentation? Why is it necessary for you to have pictures on your presentation? So visual aids, like you must have heard that if pictures speak more than 1,000 words, that is truly powerful. A picture speak more than 1,000 words. It means that there is a way you can explain something to somebody through a picture, instead of saying a lot of things. There's a way you can explain. A picture can explain something to somebody within just a short time, instead of you using so many words to explain that. So that's why you must learn to incorporate visual aids to your presentations. So the lesson I was taught by my mentor Charlotte Kim was that anytime I'm doing a presentation, I will build the notes. The first layout, I'll do heading topics, content. I'll put chunks of content in the PowerPoint presentation, but when I'm doing the final rehearsal, I'm going to remove all the content I kept there, all the content, and I will replace the content with a picture, single picture, single picture. And so when I see the picture, I will start talking about the content that was there. The people cannot see the content because I practice the content, but they can only see the picture. And when I'm talking, they're resonating. So anytime they see the picture, they're hearing me, what I'm saying. You know, so just make sure that your picture is actually related to the topic you intended to talk about, or to what you're talking about. That's so important. That's so important. And so away from actually incorporating visual aids such as drawings like pictures, we are looking at number 5 now. Begin with a bold statement or a surprising fact. Of course, everybody did that, and it was so beautifully done. And we're looking at use humor or relatable stories to break the ice and create a relaxed and welcoming atmosphere. Now, why is it important for you to bring humor on the stage as a speaker? Why is humor very important for a speaker to bring it during a presentation? Anybody?
I think it relaxes the atmosphere.
Yes, Mark, Christina, you start.
I say it relaxes the atmosphere because when you talk for too long without really making people resonate or relate with what you are saying and try to see themselves in it too and try to make them feel relaxed, they might get too tense that at some point they switch off.
Yep. I love that. That's very true. That's very true. Now look at it this way. Okay, great. Next person, Pastor Jam. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, sometimes when people come and they sit for a presentation, they might come with a baggage of many things: worries, pain, frustrations, disappointment. So I think the aspect of humor is an avenue to break those people from that and help them therefore to refocus in the presentation. Thank you.
Great. Another person? All right. To save time, you notice that when people laugh, they listen. When they listen, they learn. When they learn, they get transformed. When they get transformed, they become better citizens, better nation builders, influential, and successful in their mission on earth, in doing what God expected them to do, because they have learned. And the point of contact was making them to laugh, because when they laugh, like Pastor John will say it, and Mark Christie, they relieve stress. 9 out of every 10 people that they will come to listen to you in church, you know, to listen to you in the public talk, a presentation, whatever, they are coming with one form of depression, stress, anxiety, trauma to another. And they are craving for somebody to make them to have a good laugh, a good smile. And as a speaker, when you successfully do that, by helping them to laugh, smile, and do all of these things, they can call you the best speaker, according to them. So one of the qualities you have to start working very hard on as a speaker is humor. Your ability to spontaneously make people to laugh will pay you a lot as a speaker. So if you don't know how to make people smile and laugh, you know, you have to start working on that immediately. And every opportunity to make people laugh, please don't always abort it. Maximize every opportunity as a speaker, as a trainer, to make people laugh. And when you do that, your audience will always be in love with your presentations. So a great speaker, to an extent, is a great comedian. So work on your comedy part and then balance it up with your speaking. And that is taking us almost towards the conclusion. That was point number 6. That's taking us almost towards our conclusion. And what is point number? Well, number 5 or 6?
We're going to 6.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I was pleading that I did not get 5 well.
Okay, you did not get 5.
Yes, sir.
5 says begin with a bold statement or a surprising fact.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Begin with a bold statement or a surprising fact. So number 6 says use humor or relatable stories to break the ice and create a relaxed and a welcoming atmosphere. That's number 6. And so finally, number 7, start by sharing your personal journey. All right, that's second to the last. Start by sharing your personal journey. It's always very important to share your personal journey. I love what Cyprian did. It's so hard. Cyprian, even Mark Christie did that. They shared their personal journey. In this year, when I graduated from the university, I was looking for a job, yari yari yari. I started doing scotch egg, yari yari yari. One day I went to the market with my mom, met this person. That was my destiny here. That's a personal story. So it's good when you bring in the quotes, the statistics, the provocative question. The next thing is your personal story. Right. So after telling your personal story, what next? Use onomatopoeia. Woo! Onomatopoeia is so powerful. Use onomatopoeia. Now, what is it all about? It is simply a sound. It could be like whoop, whoop, whoop. It could be like, it could be like whoop. It could be any sound. Onomatopoeia. When you're telling your story, for instance, Mark Christie's story is intriguing. Early 80s, early in the morning when we get up from bed, when we're hearing sounds like and birds are shouting left and right, and our dad will be coming, and our mom from their bedroom will, it's morning, morning, let's come together and sing. You see, those are sounds, and it's like you're acting the scene, you're replaying the scene in the minds of your audience. So as a speaker, one of the ways to make yourself so interesting and so phenomenal in front of your audience is to incorporate onomatopoeia in your presentation. So when you're describing a scene, something that happened, bring in the real images in the minds of the people by letting them hear the sound that you heard when the incident took place. I hope that makes some sense.
It does.
Excellent. Great. Questions to ask to prepare your talk. Anytime you're supposed to do a talk, you don't just go there. You're supposed to ask questions, right? You're supposed to ask questions. So I'm going to share these questions with you. I'll read the questions and then to you so that you can be able to have a notion of them. And again, because of time, I don't want to take a lot of time for you today. I want to respect time so much. So our next class is on Thursday. Good enough. So we'll continue from questions to ask to prepare your talk on Thursday. Let's not exhaust everything today so they can have time to practice and then to have a rest after a very, very hectic day, especially for those who are in the Southwest and then in the Northwest region. So thank you so much for your time. If you have a question, you can ask right now or a contribution. And if you do not have, we will just drop the assignment so we can proceed from there. Any question, please? Yep, Cyprian.
Yes, sir, please. I wish to ask, can you help us spell out that onomatopoeia?
Sure. Onomatopoeia. Okay, where's the comment? Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. Okay. There we go. Please take Bless's spelling. My own, I missed out the O.
Onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia. Okay. Ma Christie, how is your own pair spelled? P-O-E. Okay.
O-N-O, onomatopoeia. The last one should be A-E-I. out.
To
After
pair.
P, you have AEA.
Okay, let me just double check it before I send it.
I know it's a literary genre.
Yes, it's a sound. It's a sound. Let me just get it. Onomatopoeia. Yes, Bless got it right. Onomatopoeia. Mangong Bless got it right. To pair. Yep. Yep. Onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
Yep.
Onomatopoeia.
Great. That's a good one. So Onomatopoeia. Great. All right. Please let's make sure we come on time on Thursday as we complete on this particular part of the lecture. I bet you Thursday we're going to be looking at something very amazing. You don't want to miss that out. Get ready, get enough data, and get ready. So our assignment for today is very easy. So you're going to record a video, start with a story or an anecdote, and then ask a striking question, and then bring in humor. So your assignment has to do with, okay, Pastor Jude, I see your hand. Your story, you're gonna do what you did. You start a story, and then you bring in striking statistics and quotes, and then you add with humor. At the level of humor, you end it there. Yes, Pastor Jude, over to you, sir.
Okay, no, I just wanted to please that the last class I was on transit, I could not attend. I don't know if somebody can share with me how I'll be here. Thank you.
Great. You got some very good classmates. I'm sure somebody should be able to share with you. All right. Thank you, everybody. And please drop your assignment in the class tomorrow before midday, and wish you a wonderful night, day, or evening. Cheers. Felix, you have a question?
Yes, I actually want to plead with you that if it's possible, you help me and drop the assignment in the group. I'm not really getting it clearly.
All right.
Thank you.
Great. Good night. Okay. Thank you so much for showing up today. Enjoy. I hope you enjoy the class. So make sure you drop your assignment in class before tomorrow midnight. Tomorrow midday. All right. All right. Cheers to all the students who had to do their recording. You have to watch the recording. Hope to see you in class soon. Cheers. My name is Nshom.